Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of our Let's Play on Duel Links, unlocking all the characters with minimal resources and minimal effort. I am in Vrain's world and want to duel the Gore here that appeared at level 20, which means I do not have to waste any gate keys if I am successful in clearing the missions. I'm on Soulburner here and the missions we need to clear are basically that we perform 2 special summons in one duel against him with Soulburner, and that we perform a total of 3 link summons in Vrain's World duels, which is quite easily accomplished. So each link summon is a special summon, which means if I just summon my Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf or Heat Leo and Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow, I should be fine with all of these missions. And the reason I'm going for Gore, well, there are 2 reasons. Number 1, of course, he appeared and therefore is basically a free unlock if I don't mess up. And the reason number 2 is that I want to unlock him for one specific card in his starter deck, which is the spell card Union Attack. Now you could get Union Attack from using a super rare card ticket, which I'm going to use later down the line to have 2 copies of it. However, if you don't want to spend a super rare card ticket, or if you just want an additional copy of Union Attack, you can simply get it from the starter deck of the Gore. So, having said all of this, I am still in the duel and still trying to win here, because that's the only objective I really have left after my 2 special summons will have gone through here. What other ways are there to get special summons in against the Gore? Well, if you did it the way I did it and purchased the 2 structure decks, Odd Eyes Challenger and, of course, Stardust Nexus, you could synchro summon Junk Archer with the stuff you have, and you could XYZ summon your copy of Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon for 2 extra deck monsters, and that's already 2 special summons. Also, the starter deck of Soulburner comes with a skill that gives you access to the link monster Salamangreat Heat Leo that you can summon, and you also have Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow, which I got from the card trader in the last episode. And then when leveling up Soulburner, you get access to Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf that you can summon. So there are even here free-to-play options and not so free-to-play or options without using any resources at all. And yeah, so I don't think it should be a problem for you to get 2 special summon in against the Gore in a single duel, and you also should be able to get 3 link summons against maybe standard duelists, against the Gore, against other characters in Vrain's world. It does not matter how you do it, but you can do it, and I don't think there's much of an issue here. Unlocking the Gore is not just important for the copy of Union Attack, but also since he is needed for some later stage missions, like you have to win some duels with the Gore and you have to summon his Goki the Great Ogre one time for a stage mission, and Gore has to win a duel with warriors only, stuff like that. So it is quite important to get him, and in Vrain's world he's actually, right now, the only other character besides Soulburner that I can actually have in this world. So unlocking him is quite neat. And that leads us to another character, so let's swap over to DM world now. Since DM Taya, off screen and in between episodes, basically won 5 duels, which means we get access to her alternative style. And that is, I think, the final style besides Soulburner and Flame that we needed to get. And Soulburner and Flame is quite a nuisance, let me tell you, but that's not the point right now. Now we are in DSOD world, and DSOD Seto duels DSOD Joey at level 10 at the gate. We do this because we want to achieve a no damage win, which against level 10 Joey is easier said than done, since he is using a card called Hinotama, which of course deals 500 points of effect damage to me, and then it's no longer a no damage win. So in this one I got quite lucky and therefore was able to just finish him off after making sure that I don't take any damage in this duel. Also, no special summons and no skills have been used in this duel. I mean, we have to duel him with Mokuba in just a moment as well, but if you don't use a skill or a special summon, Against him you clear 2 more of the missions. Also, I had Red Eyes Black Dragon in any of my decks and played some duels against standard duelists or whatever, and even in DM World when I played as DM Joey to get my 5 wins there for the alternative style, and therefore I also cleared the mission that says win 3 duels with Red Eyes Black Dragon in your deck. So Joey now is defeated at level 10 once more by DSOD Mokuba this time around, and the objective is that we win in 7 turns or less, which we just did. And that means we cleared all of the missions for DSOD Joey. Getting him is important because with him we can get Taya and also Yugi, I think, and then Joey and Taya and Yugi are needed for Bakura, so it is quite important to get DSOD World Joey here. And with him unlocked, we can move on to another character. However, there is something else I want to do, since there is one card I can get from the Lifetimes list. Of course, I'm talking about Magic Cylinder here, that I want to claim now to have another defensive option and some more beginner missions, or not, it's just not anniversary missions that I can clear here, bingo sheet stuff. Not that it's important, but it gives me resources, and I'm also annoyed by the red mark that's there. So I just got it out of the way and move on to Zale World, where I'm on Yuma again, because I think he's the only character that I have at this point, and I duel Bronk. Unfortunately for me, he was a level 30 spawn, which is the worst kind of spawn when I am doing these character unlocks. However, he's still a free character if I manage to do this, and at least I can give it a free try without using any of my gate keys. Unfortunately, I did not open a single monster and therefore have to fear for my life. That's a new one. So my objective here, my main objective, is that I of course win against Bronk as Yuma, and besides that I also summoned 5 warrior monsters in total against standard duelists, and I got 3 XYZ summons in against standard duelists as well in Zale World. That means I can, after winning here, unlock Bronk. And that is my second character in this world, and quite an important one. I mean, he's not needed to unlock all of these characters that we still have to get here in this world. However, he, just like the Gore, is needed for some of the stage missions. That include like winning a duel with machines only maybe, and summoning his Tin Archduke. And therefore I wanted to get him sooner rather than later. Now we swap over to Arc 5 World and play as Yuya, the only character I still have here, against Yuto at level 30, who was a spawn. And the objective is that we summon Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon against Yuto at level 30. There are 2 ways to have an Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon for me at this point, which are number 1 with the skill, the starting skill for Yuya, that also adds Time Gazer and Stargazer Magician to my deck, and also 1 copy of the alternative artwork from the Odd Eyes Challenger structure deck. And since he's using his Phantom Knights that thin out his deck like crazy, I think I want to have 2 copies of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon in my deck here, so that I have a better shot, even though using the skill means I have a 23 card deck, but I still feel like it's better to have the skill on for the additional copy of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. But you can do it the way you want to do it, and I am not anyone who can tell you what's right or what's wrong. So I thought also one of the missions would be that we win against Yuto at level 30, but that apparently is not the case. We just needed to summon Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, which I will be doing soon. And then it would help to get 2000 or more attack points with a single attack in, which also something like Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon can do very easily. Also, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon helps again. So Odd Eyes Challenger, by the way, seems to have been worth the 1000 gems already. But I'm using especially this Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon so many times throughout the series that it's not even funny anymore, and it's quite an important card for me to have and to use. So having said that, I'm also trying to get in some synchro summons because Gong, it can be unlocked later down the line here in Arc 5 World by doing some of his missions, and one of them says that we perform a few synchro summons in Arc 5 World. So I'm dragging the duel out a little until I have Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon on the field and until I have summoned my Junk Archer, which of course will help me with the synchro summons for Gong. Yuto will be an important character to get because with him I can unlock some more characters that are then needed to unlock even more characters. So it's like a chain that's going on here. Not to the extreme that it was in GX World, but if you know, you know, right? But it is quite a nuisance to unlock all of these characters in Arc 5 World, and Yuto is one of the characters I need to get rather early. And therefore, when he showed up at level 30, I decided to go for it. I mean, worst that could happen again is that I do not win or am not able to summon the Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon in that duel and can just try again later, even if it means going to the gate for this. The other missions that have to do with Yuto's unlock are that basically we collect 3 XYZ monsters, which we somehow did already. I mean, yeah, sure, we have the Dark Rebellion from the structure deck, but I don't even know what the other XYZ monsters are. But hey. And then also that we perform 2 synchro summons in one duel against him, and that we perform 2 fusion summons in one duel against him, which I think should cover all of the missions. And we haven't done these synchro summons and fusion summons things for Yuto yet, so I decide to go to the gate and challenge him at level 10 to clear this unlock right here, right now. And as I said, the objectives are that we perform 2 synchro summons and 2 fusion summons. I'm using some sort of a hero deck here for that. Not that it matters, you can use whatever you want, whatever you have, and whatever works. But don't you worry, I am going to show you this deck after the duel, of course, because I'm showing my decks a lot in this series. And let's not forget that these synchro summons go towards one of the Gong unlock missions as well. So I'm summoning Junk Archer and Stardust Dragon. The unfortunate thing with Stardust Dragon specifically in this setup is that it is summoned with Hyper Synchron and therefore banished in the end phase, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is, and the important thing is that I actually did the synchro summon here. The other synchro monster that I'm going to summon is of course Junk Archer. That requires Junk Synchron specifically. What Junk Archer can do is banish one of the opponent's monsters until the end phase, which can come in clutch, but I am specifically doing it here because I will be able to banish a few of my opponent's monsters in this duel. And that's important because Scud has a hidden requirement, Scud being a DSOD character of course, and the hidden requirement previously was banishing 300 of your opponent's cards. And I'm like, no, that's too many, Mr. Konami sir, make it less. And Mr. Konami responded to, okay, then how about you banish 10? And I'm like, that's much better, thanks, dude. And therefore, he just is unlockable after banishing 10 of the opponent's cards, and the Junk Archer banishes count towards these as well. And since I just spent 1000 gems on getting the structured deck Stardust Nexus for some cards, especially Stardust Dragon, which also contained the Junk Archer, I now have this card and can use it to banish some stuff. This is one of the reasons I'm dragging out the duel. Another reason is that I want to get my fusion summons in. Now, one could argue that I could clear all of these Yuto missions in just one duel against him at level 30, but I personally am not about that life, man. I'm not doing that. I want to split the missions up, which makes it less stressful for me and just more fun to play, in my opinion. You can do it the way you want, and I'm not telling you that it's wrong or that it's bad or whatever. You just do it the way you want. If you can do it in just one duel against him at level 30, good for you. but I'm not doing it, and I think it's okay. So with this done, we cleared all of his unlocked missions and can finally unlock him. And as I said, Yuto is quite an important character to have, as we are going to see later down the line with all the other character unlocked missions. That, for example, include Lulu and I think Shay as well. And let's not forget Hugo, who then is needed to unlock Rin and Selena, so it is quite important to have Yuto right now, or at least a little later, I guess. So having said that, we unlocked him, we showed the deck here, and that means I can swap over to DM World and try to unlock Yami Bakura. Now this one is a personal vendetta I have against him in this playthrough specifically, because prior to this clip that you are seeing, he showed up in the world and I tried to do these missions, but I somehow messed things up, and that made me so angry that I decided to unlock him, even if it meant going for this at the gate. So what I'm doing here is I'm not using any spell or trap cards, even though I still have them in my deck, but I'm not activating any of those, and I'm getting my life points to below 2000, and I am summoning a few level 3 or lower monsters in this duel, which should cover a majority of these character unlock missions. Because it says here in my script that I have to summon 3 level 3 monsters in one duel against Yami Bakura, a level 3 or lower that is. Then we get 2000 or less life points left when we beat him, which is already happening here. And we do not use any spell or trap cards against Yami Bakura, and we win with Yami Yugi against Yami Bakura, which are just 4 of the 5 missions. And then I thought, okay, there's one more mission left, which is 1500 or more points of effect damage against Yami Bakura. However, since I do not have access to, let's say, Elemental Hero Lady Heat, or other monsters that deal effect damage besides something like Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, I thought that I am going to use spell cards like Sparks or even Raimei against him in a separate duel. So I was not able to clear all 5 of the missions, but 4 of them in one, which were, of course, again, summoning 3 level 3 or lower monsters in one duel, getting a win with 2000 or less life points, don't use any spell or trap cards in one duel, and Yami Yugi wins against him. And this one is the 5th and final mission for unlocking Yami Bakura, which is, of course, that we inflict 1500 or more points of effect damage. And the card that I'm using a lot here for these effect damage missions prior to getting access to Gravekeeper's Vessel is Thunder Crash, a spell card that you can frequently get from dueling standard duel lists as a drop reward in the duel assessment screen. And what Thunder Crash does is it destroys all of your monsters and deals 300 points of effect damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. So if I have a monster in my extra monster zone and all 3 main monster zones are full, I can activate Thunder Crash to deal 1200 points of effect damage to him at once. Now, even though it is quite a common drop reward from dueling standard duelists, you may not have access to Thunder Crash. In that case, you just use cards like Raimei and Sparks and some other stuff that you do happen to have. And even, I think, Hinotama that you get from Soulburner starter deck, I believe. So I think you are fine, and if not, just duel him at level 20 so that he doesn't summon them in attack position but sets his monsters, and then you play some continuous spell cards and also summon Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, and Hamon attacks into just 2 of the monsters that Yami Bakura sets, and therefore deals a total of 2000 effect damage that way, and even some more. So this is a free-to-play way of doing this if you do not have cards like Thunder Crash to your disposal, or at your disposal. And we are still going to duel him here, and I'm still on it, because I want to basically win the duel with effect damage alone, but then I thought it's just wasting time here, my time and your time, everyone's time, even his time, so I decided to show mercy and obliterate him, which means we cleared all 5 missions for Yami Bakura and can unlock him. Now, why is it so important to unlock Yami Bakura? Because one of the characters in this world is Bones. And to unlock Bones, you need Yami Bakura and Bandit Keith to clear a mission each, respectively. So you get Yami Bakura first and Bandit Keith as well, and then you take care of Bones. If you want to use Bones for your ranked duels or whatever, because you need a specific skill. Here we are now dueling DSOD Tea at level 10, still using Yami Yugi, because Yami Yugi needs to win 3 duels with spellcasters only against DSOD Tea, which means she is our next unlock. But we are not completing this unlock during this episode. It's just this one. I already won 2 duels against her with spellcasters only off screen, so that I'm just showing you this final third one. And you need to be aware of Dark Magician Girl when you're dueling against Tea at level 10, because Dark Magician Girl is the only monster that can cause you any trouble when it comes to attack points. So I just play it defensively and clear out her monster so that she doesn't have any tribute material, and I summon my Dark Magician and my Dark Magician Girl that can actually deal with her Dark Magician Girl if necessary. I'm still using a lot of spellcasters that I got even from the Odd Eyes Challenger structure deck, and yeah, that is a fine purchase that I made there. So with this we started her unlock and we can complete it later. Let me tell you what we did here. We unlocked the Gore, we got Tea's alternative style, we got DSOD Joey, we got Magic Cylinder from the Lifetimes list, we unlocked Bronk and Yuto, Yami Bakura, and the first part of DSOD Tea's unlock. Here's the deck that I've been using, the Spellcaster only deck, and yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next episode.